Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Change Your Minds Online Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube Live, right? So, I am Dr. Akina Finch, and my lovely co host Vanessa Canterbury here has come up with our topic today. So, Vanessa, let the people know what we're talking about. Vanessa, there you go.
Can you hear me?
I can
There
hear
you
you.
go. It's
There you go.
frozen.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, technology is cutting up today. Can you hear me now? I think it's,
I,
it's I
I
think
I
it's
can
good
hear
now. What
you.
you think?
I see you. I hear you. I see you.
Okay. That is so weird. Was echoing and doing some type of jazz over here.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So I am here. And let's go get this party started. I think we clear now. I think we got the little on my side out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it's still.
I see you. I hear you. You just have to tell us what's going on.
Oh, I don't know what the heck is
Yeah.
going on, but this is crazy.
Yeah. Just talk.
Okay, Keena, you go ahead. Keep.
Yeah.
Can
You
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 go ahead and
talk.
start? And
We
then, because
started.
mine is delaying.
We started.
Is delaying on my side?
Yeah, I understand. You can talk now. Can you hear me? Okay. What? Okay. Hello. Well, my co-host will be back shortly. So we're going to be talking about when you stop. Okay, there she is. Here we go. Hey, Vanessa. I hear you. I hear you. Can you not hear me? Vanessa? Vanessa.
There is definitely a delay.
Because I hear you.
What's
I hear
going on
you.
here?
All right. Well,
Oh
I
my.
hear
Okay.
you. So you tell us about the topic.
Oh, this is crazy.
Okay. So we're apparently having technical difficulties with this here. All right. Vanessa is coming back. So, in the time being, we look forward to. I'm going to put the ticker down here at the bottom so you can join us on our podcast. You can join us on changeyourmindsonline.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and iHeartRadio, iTunes, the whole 9 yards. So as you can see down here at the bottom, we are just about everywhere you want to be. We bring you people who are changing the world via social media, and we are trying to get, for some odd reason, my co-host has not come back. I don't know what's going on with that. All right. Let me see here. Okay. All right. Let me reclaim my co-host here. Okay. Okay, there she is. All right, here we go. All righty. She is back.
This
Great.
is crazy. So
Crazy.
this got to be a good topic because of all this craziness that had to take place. I
I
think.
know, right? Oh my goodness. So we are both in the building. We both can hear now all the things. So I'm gonna cut all of that extra out of the background, later on, right? So for this, I am Dr. Welcome, welcome to the Change Your Minds Online monthly live stream. We are on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and LinkedIn Live.
Mhm.
Now we are um I'm Dr. Akina Finch, and this is my lovely co-host Vanessa Canterbury. Yeah, Canterbury. And she decided on this lovely topic for today. But please, before you do anything, make sure you're following us on all the social media handles at Changing Minds Online, and our podcast, Motivate Social Podcast, on all of the different places down there on the ticker. So, Vanessa, tell us what we're talking about and why.
Mm. Well, this topic happens from time to time, but sometimes we need to go a little bit deeper, right? And so, what we're going to talk about is the difference between an asset and a liability,
Mm,
and so you could be able to know who and what position not only you play, but those around you play as well. So, do you know your position, and do you know their position?
oh, that's good.
Right? So I have, discovered in every level of transition that happens in my life, you get to understand the mindset of the individuals that you have surrounded yourself with, right?
Okay.
And so I'm always taking inventory, always taking inventory. I don't have to wait for a season. I don't wait for that year. Oh, I'm not gonna go into 2000 and such with all of this. No, no, we're not gonna wait for none of that. I've learned that we have to start taking inventory sooner than later. It will help you in the long run. And you'll know that who could go on that journey, who's capable, who's strong enough, who is that's genuine there with you to go on this journey with you, even if they understand it, but they understand that you have a journey that you have to go on,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they have no problem with supporting, even if they don't truly understand the journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that you have made a transition,
Mm-hmm.
now you get to understand the liability,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Oftentimes when you are liability, they really don't want nothing to do with you. There's a higher cost that you have to pay because you are liability. But when you an asset, you is like an open range to come sit at the table
Yeah.
because you bring some value to the table. You bring some nuggets to the table. You dropping so much that somebody else was so afraid and wanted to charge your arm, a leg, and a hip and an ankle, but
Oh,
you bring it
yeah.
to the table. And so you have to be okay as you make the transition from liability to asset. Don't apologize for it anymore. Don't apologize if you have to switch out team players. You
Okay.
just didn't make the cut. You just didn't make the cut, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that that I wish you ill will, but you just didn't make the cut. In this season of my life, you did not make the cut. Just like when it's time for the sports season, they always making their cut. They're looking to see who they're gonna draft and who's gonna make it to the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't even let you know in advance. They just let you know, well, you know what, there was no space here for you on the team. However,
Mm-hmm. Come on now.
so what position do you play? Are you an asset or you're a liability? Well, I used to be a liability. Why? Because I didn't believe enough in myself and my gift and my worth.
Oh,
So there was a cost for that. That means I also had to take a lot of nonsense from other people because I didn't see my worth.
Okay.
So you're a liability, right? Have
Mm-hmm.
you ever thought about it on that job when you ever think about, he said, you get that extra insurance. We give employees insurance. Because they're going to take insurance off on you just in case. People don't pay attention to that because you're a liability. They write you off every year. They judge you throughout the year. They put all their gifts and their works and their plans and their goals off on you because you're a liability. You didn't invest in nothing. So why do you feel that you're an asset? But once I've learned what I bring to the table, there's no need for me to shortchange my worth at all. When I understood that I was in transition of coming from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, I started to understand that since my position have totally changed, I've become a liability to those who I surrounded myself. But once I become a successful entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're an asset now. They want to be around you. They want to be in your circle, but they didn't want to be in your circle, support you when you was a liability. So what are you doing to make sure that you know your position and that you understand and other understand the position that's around you? Who are you surrounding yourself with? So, Kena, what do you think about this topic? Becoming understanding that you're an asset or you're a liability. When are you gonna stop being an asset and become a liability?
Oh, come on. that I have never thought about it. But you mentioned something to that effect on one of our clubhouses last week. And I was like, that is a very interesting topic. When you stop being an asset and become a liability. When I thought about it, it was kind of like before you were all good, when you were doing everything that everybody else was doing, you were supplying the needs, you were the person that they came for when they needed this, that, and the other thing. And then all of a sudden, when your situation changes and you are no longer
Hmm.
the supply house, they have nothing for you, and they don't even have anything for you. They don't even take the time to ask you if you're okay
Mm-mm.
or return the favor.
Mm-hmm.
Am I on the right track?
Amen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how do you go about now that, let's say, when you were working the job, you had all this money, free money to give, you had these parties, you had these things, you had these resources, but then when you decided to become an entrepreneur, and you didn't have all the extra income, that extra income was to build your business,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you had some legacy, as you
Mm-hmm.
say, all those things, then now they didn't have anything for you. Am I still on the right track?
Come on.
All right. So, because of this, how do you deal with the fact that you are now the liability when you used to be the asset? When you used to be the one everybody came to, when you used to be the one that was the center of attention because you were just doing all the things. But when you find out that you were actually just the person they were leeching off of.
Mm. Well,
I mean, am I on the right track?
I'm just saying. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell me about that, Vanessa. Because you brought this topic up. So this must be something we need to discuss. What happens? How does that feel when, or what coping mechanisms should we take when we have become the liability?
You really got to take inventory on the roles, because every season what we should be doing every season, we should be learning more about ourselves, right?
Mhm.
We should always be open to grow. We should always be willing to understand who the people who we're reconnecting with.
Mhm.
We going out every weekend. Well, what are we doing every weekend? Are we talking about a business plan? Are we talking about the goals that we need to meet? We need to talk about how we're going to support each other. Well, what are we talking about? Because we're not going to be 30 and 40 for forever, right? What's the goals, right? And so if you having a conversation and people are straying away from more and more of those conversations, then I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on here. Because I don't want to have to worry about somebody telling me my worth
Mhm.
when I see that telling me that I'm not worth X, Y, and Z. It's just like you out here negotiating your pay, but you're really not getting paid nothing but pennies on a dollar. How
That's
am
right.
I going to grow? But if I have somebody else who already have experienced that, and we not every time we going out every weekend, every other weekend, we not having these conversations, and you already been in it, and you see what I'm going through, and we can't really.
You're
I
right.
should be able to reach out to that person or my circle and say, look, I'm going through something right now. This is what I'm going through. And you cannot be able to give me some good feedback so I can be able to say, okay, I need to make these adjustments in my life.
Mhm.
So I don't have to continue to be your liability. And better yet, what do you look at me as? Do you look at me as a liability because you've been through this, but you're too afraid to be able to tell me the ins and the out, the good and the bad, whether I want to hear it or not, but you in my circle and I'm open to receive it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you have somebody that's in your circle that's not open enough to be able to tell you boldly, and even though it may get you a little in your feelings, but it's going to be something that's going to make to help you with that transition, sit down and take notes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And we have to get out of our feelings and know that it's coming from a great place, depending on who you connected with.
I'll come through.
Because sometimes those people that you connected with are really looking at you as a competition, so they really don't want to tell you anyway.
Mhm.
So if you sitting around at the table and somebody looking at you as a competition, but you call me your good girlfriend, but now you looking at me as a competition, we need to have a conversation. Better yet, we probably don't even have to have a conversation. Maybe again, we got to take inventory. So we got to be really careful as to who we are connected with because that can mess with your psyche.
Mhm.
And so now this messing with your psyche, it can really take you in a place where you don't want to be.
Agree.
So what are you going to do to make the necessary adjustments so you don't stay there? I want to have a conversation that's going to elevate me to make me start getting the switch going in my mindset like,
Right.
wait a minute, I never thought about it that way. I don't want to stay in this position. So I'm going to go ahead and make these adjustments.
Come on
So
now.
be okay with making those necessary adjustments and making sure that you get with those people who are not afraid to tell you, girl, you looking crazy in these streets. And you're like, well, I'm looking crazy in the streets. Well, this is what happened. And then because we get to going so much, sometimes we just don't realize it. Well, call
Right.
me out. Because I know it's coming from a place out of love.
All right now.
But don't call me out just to try to belittle me and think you're going to take side jabs and then I'm supposed to just sit back and take it.
Uh-oh.
That's a whole nother ball game.
Right.
So who are you connecting with? And just because you're connected with them as a friend, that's fine. Leave them in friend state. But if you connecting with them in a business mindset, okay, now be careful about that because everybody is set up for that next level. And you be going to that next level and you probably surpass them and they still at the bottom. They're going to think that, oh, well, now you think you better than me because the mindset. So let's find a better way how we can be able to adjust, have these conversations that so many people are too afraid to have. Like right now, let's call it what it is. People are there waiting for that stimulus check.
Wow.
What are you going to do with it?
Wow.
Because a stimulus check is temporary situation. What you going to do with it? Are you a liability? I'm just saying, don't stay there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate goal. Get back on your feet. Do not stay there. Tax season, what you gonna do with it? Again, don't stay there.
Right.
It's a temporary thing. If anything, you should be getting tax money monthly. Better yet, daily.
Uh-oh.
Let's switch that mindset.
All right
Don't
now.
get happy because you turn around getting $5,000 in tax money, and that's the biggest check that you ever received. And it's only gonna last you because all you're gonna do is floss with it anyway. And then you didn't flip it at all to double or triple, maybe quadruple that money because of the people that you hang around with.
Uh-oh.
And you a liability.
Okay, so let me be clear. So we should not be waiting on the stimmy. Because you know they've named it now, the stimmy.
I didn't know that, but all right now.
Yes, it's the stimmy now.
That's sad.
And so we, instead of waiting on the stimmy to do whatever with, we should bank the stimmy or invest the stimmy so that we can double it, triple it, quadruple it, 10x it. That's what we should be doing.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell us about some of the investments we could be making.
Oh,
Yes, come
let me
on.
go
We
there.
don't take them all the way there then.
Okay, so many of you guys been talking about working with I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. There's a need, and then there's a price to the need.
Oh, no.
There's a need, there's some time for that need.
Mm-hmm.
You right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you need someone to be able to help you in an area that you know you're not good in,
Okay.
Google only gonna take you so far.
Oh.
That means you need to start what? Investing in yourself. You want to come out of this pandemic better than what you was when you was in it.
Okay.
Right? You got all this income coming in. You got
Mm-hmm.
unemployment paying you more than your check paid you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be out there investing in or no shopping for the latest iPhones, the earplugs, the watches, the cars, and you live in your mama's basement. Your credit ain't right. You paying the interest rate is ridiculous. You're not learning how to be able to get that sucker down. You're not learning how to fix your credit. You're not even thinking about fixing your credit, but you want to floss and go out every weekend, and the weather's about to get ready to break. So you got to make sure you have the next and the best gear on. Let's change this mindset. So things in a way you could be able to invest. So you say you want to be able to build you a business. You want to be able to become a coach. You want to become a speaker. You want to be able to, be on stages. You want to travel the world. You want to be able to do all these amazing things. But you invest in nothing. So what you can invest in? One, you can invest in a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You can invest in a coach that could be able to take you to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a website? You need to invest and get you a website. You're not branded? You need to invest in and get yourself branded. You know a business, you don't know a business, you're not sure what business? Okay, come on. That's where you need to get you a coach to be able to that walk you through that process. You want to write a book? Okay, you need to invest in writing a book and stop thinking that everything is for free because again, Google will only take you so far. Well, what else you want to do? You want to be able to buy you some business, some buildings. There's many ways that you could be able to buy you some buildings. Many. Have you looked up on the IRS website to see all the things they have going on right now? Better yet, have you looked on the SBA website to see what everything that they got going on, all this government assistance they got going on here, the grants they got going on here. There's a thing called research. Stop asking everybody on social media and do your own research.
Oh. Is this what we're doing today?
You because everybody posts stuff on social media. When you got Google, we go to Google faithfully every day, but you asking everybody else. It's just like somebody wanted. They say they marriage material, but then you over here treating you over here in every relationship that you've been in. You've been a man and a woman in that relationship, and you don't even know how a man's supposed to treat you because you've been a man and a woman in a relationship.
Woo. Girl, I almost fell off the screen. Okay.
We just got to be real with this. We say these are things that we want. We say this is what we see ourselves as, that wife E. But you ain't doing nothing on social media, on and off social media, that qualifies you as wifey. You say that you want a man to wine and dine you. You have yet to take yourself out and wine and dine yourself. You want a man that is very financially stable, and you over here on Section 8. You're comfortable being on a government assistance. You're not doing anything to get off of that. Again, do you know the difference between being an asset and a liability? Stop going out there and speaking things into the world, and you have yet to do it yourself.
And once again, I almost fell off the screen.
But you know what? Again, we need to have these conversations. We don't have these conversations. And it's like y'all over here just waiting for these darn gold checks to drop and checking your bank account in the middle of the night thinking it's going to be there. Like you're going to do something with it anyway, but just go shop at Walmart. They lines out the door now. Why are you going to keep on investing in $1 billion company that ain't giving you nothing in return but a receipt? You can't even write that off.
As y'all can see, my co-host is on a good one today.
Baby, I'm over it when people constantly keep with this foolishness and then they think it's okay. They so worried about canceling out people because they say the wrong thing.
You're right. You're right.
How do you cancel somebody so quick and you haven't even started on the right thing?
Okay.
You're still hanging around with people, hoping and praying and pulling teeth out of them for them to change. You're still in that relationship, knowing darn well that ain't the one for you. But you done popped out another one.
All right. So we
gotta call it what it is. What are we showing our children?
You're right.
Because we having these kids, and then we turn around and our children, they going to reap that. That's not a benefit they want to reap.
No.
We got to do better. I never thought we'll be in this. We got access to all this social media, all these apps.
Mm-hmm.
But we not using it for the greater good. But we have time for foolishness. Again, do you know what you are? Are you an asset or a liability? If you're working a job, there's nothing wrong with working a job. But are you taking the information, taking notes, taking that money from your job, saving that money, or investing in yourself while you have that job? So when that time comes when you say, I want to retire early, or I made way enough money on a weekly, monthly basis than I did in my job for a consistent amount of time. I got some money saved up. I started investing in myself for buying some whatever, buildings or whatever else. Now we talking something, but you have to be willing to do the work.
Right.
It's not going to happen overnight. We have to be willing to put those long hours that we don't want to put in. We have to make those. We don't want to network. We just want to get in somebody's inbox and sell them something. You don't even know where I'm from. You don't even know if I got one toe and you over here trying to sell me some shoes. Let's call it what it is. You see what I'm saying? People do like, we got to call it what it is. I just had somebody do that to me recently. I'm like, wait a minute. You don't even know me, but you in my inbox.
Yep.
So we got to find a better way of doing it. Again, if you invest in yourself, if you sit with people that have done it, who is doing it, you could be able to avoid those errors that we all have made. But let's avoid it and make it better so we can stay out of the liability state, and let's get some assets in here. Like build your portfolio. Oh, okay.
Let's talk about that. I like where this is going. Okay, so asset and liability, of course, is an accountability term, economic term, and we know these things. And usually, most that don't are ones that don't like to deal with the necessities of money, meaning they know what money is. They know how that money goes buys those red bottoms and knows that money goes buy them cars, knows that the money is the one to get them into the club, the things of that nature. However, are they thinking about, oh, money is going to save me? During my retirement, I should have some stacked up. I should have a certain amount in my stocks and bonds, or this, that, and other thing. You know, or better yet, why don't I go and that money can buy that new property, can buy that house instead of paying that rent for that apartment,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And truth be completely told, now I am a believer. I recently bought a house and I was shocked at the fact that the house is cheaper than an apartment. I was like, yes, God. But I say this to say a lot of people don't do their necessary research. They think that, you know, they want this big thing and they say, okay, your credit's not good enough yet. And then they give up the dream. They don't go and do the work necessary to clean up the credit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, we may have messed up in our college years. Usually that's when we start getting credit. Yeah, we messed up. So of course we're gonna pay for it. Yeah, we probably have some student loans. Yeah, we gotta do that too. Those kind of things all affect. But one day you're just gonna have to make some sacrifices and clean everything up. And I'm speaking to the choir here. When life happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have been rolling, 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 rolling on a river there, and then all of a sudden that river came to a screeching halt, but the bills didn't. And that 6 month little blip can turn your credit 3 years down the line.
Yep.
But guess what? If you decide that you're gonna make the change, you make the change. And it's so funny that one time I just said, look, I'm done with all of these. So I'm gonna make some changes. I will have big dreams. So I don't like the numbers that are here. They weren't bad numbers, but I didn't but they weren't excellent.
Right.
They wasn't where I thought I should be.
Mm-hmm.
So what? I took inventory, stock, and then started cleaning. I went and got me an account, did all of my disputes. They got all of that stuff off because sometimes stuff be lackadaisical.
Yep.
Sometimes that stuff be sitting there and they still ain't supposed to be there no more because people ain't paying no attention. They think you ain't either. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why you got to be on top of your stuff and do your disputes. Once my disputes came through, then I took care of the rest. It was actually my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, come on. And then literally the week after all of my sowing and reaping of my sowing came, here comes the harvest. And then the next week, I was offered to buy the house, and they were like, "You're approved." But what if I decided not to clean up my stuff or make it better? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's. Well, yeah, because some stuff wasn't even supposed to be on there no more.
Yep.
But it was just sitting there taking stock,
Mm-hmm.
taking up space, taking residence,
Mm-hmm.
and messing my stuff up. Oh Jesus! All right, hold on. All right, I have no idea what that just happened. All right, let me get my. There she go. Well, blessings. How you doing?
Whew.
Oh my God, this live stream here. So was I on the right track, Vanessa?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
Apparently they were telling me we need to stop talking because the co-host had to bounce off. But that's so. Tell me, tell the people. Yes, let's tell the people. Real talk right now. What can you do to stop being a liability? Let's put some plan. Let's put a plan in place.
Well, you need to set a date for your goals, right? Let's say the date for the goal. So this week here halfway, March. So
Yeah.
you have say 2 weeks, okay? Your 2 weeks goal. You have a 2 week goal where you want to be able to start a business, right? You have a good idea what you would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know how to brand it. You don't know how what to name your business.
Right.
What's the steps as far as getting you an EIN LLC? Do you trademark it right away? All of that all depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to start getting with those people who you've been connected with on social media, or better yet, change your circle of people that you've been connecting with and start just looking at them. Look at the work that they're doing. And don't be afraid to now. That's one of the best time for you to Google a person to find out what type of work have they really done. What's their results? Where's your receipts? I want to know what you've been doing before you even put a dollar anywhere, right? So you have this idea that you've been circling around with. Now you know your circle is shaky. Ain't no need for you to have a conversation with them because they not on that level yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that is okay. But you need to go ahead and bite the bullet and start your business. Hypothetically,
Right.
you have been wanting to be a coach for so long, or better yet, you probably just finish out your coaching um, classes and your courses and everything else. You ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know what area that you want to work with. You want to work with married couples. Okay. Do you know what age group? Because just because you may be 25, you probably got wisdom of a 40-year person. Not trying to be funny. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those are the people that you need to connect with because those that's younger than you don't get it. But older people understand it. Then at least you know who your target audience is.
All right now.
Right? Now that you know who your target audience is, where they at? Because they ain't on your page, right? You got to switch it up.
Okay.
Let's these groups. Let's have a conversation. Let's get some engagement going. Maybe you need to ask some questions online. What issues that you have in marriage? What's the problem with marriages these days? Oh, people will jump on that bandwagon quick. Why? Because a lot of them probably already been married. Some probably already have a shaky marriage right now. And then some people are heading to divorce, already divorced. They'll give you a whole lot. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you turn around, you gathering this information. That's exactly what you're doing. You're gathering information so
All
you
right.
can know what you need to be working on. How do you need to come out as far as should I start with a course? Or should I turn around and do some introductory sections? Meaning that you'll turn around and coach them for a certain amount of time to be able to get a review. I'm just saying, because you need to get something.
Right.
And
Right.
maybe you don't charge a arm and a leg, a couple of dollars here. Or maybe in exchange, it could be for free for 30 minutes or what have you. Something to get your feet wet so you can see what the people are looking for. And
Okay.
then turn around, they'll give you results. Because they'll tell you about yourself. Our people are fickle, but they will tell you about yourself. I'm
Yes.
just
Yeah.
right. Especially on small business, they are hard on small business, but these big business, they won't do the big business like they do the small business. So they're gonna tell you about yourself. Don't worry about that. And so now that you have done that, now you can say, okay, I've come up with all this information that I have gathered. Now I really have shortened my list of the area that I want to go in. the name of my business. Now I could be able to start doing what I need to get your EIN number out there, do your research to see if that name is out there available.
Mm-hmm.
The domain, grab all that stuff. Don't just look in one area. Get to deep diving into, is this available? Now
Okay.
that you have that start available, at least you got that part secure, because people usually do it backwards. But now that you have it secure, okay, I need somebody else to help me brand this. I need a website. I need to know how to do these courses or what have you. Now you done made some connections with some people. You have done some research with these people. Now it's time for you to interview a coach. 2, 3, 4, 5. Interview them. I'm just saying, have a session with them. If they're afraid to answer the questions, then they make the coach for you. I ain't trying to be funny. I just got to be realistic. If they only, let's say, when you got 15 minutes and 15 minutes and this and that, but you have a couple of questions, probably go over to 30 minutes, and they're not answering those questions, and these are some real key points, go on to the next one. I don't care how many numbers of people they have. Don't fall for that. Because they have thousands, they have they certified. Do not fall for it. Do your research.
I
Now
agree
that
with
you have started somewhere, you have started the bare minimum. Now you in a realm of like, okay, you start to narrow down. You a coach,
you. Mm-hmm.
but do you really know what you need out of your coach? That's where a lot of people go wrong at.
Mm.
Well, you told me that you just wanted to get branded. You just want to make a course, but they didn't ask you no questions to get those wheels turning. Like,
Mm.
what? I never thought about that, because you didn't know what question to ask.
Right, right, right,
And
right.
now you don't pay this money, and then they said, well, oh, now they're going to hit you with something else. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Again, you need to do your research. Okay, Keena, what you think about that?
Hmm. You know, you gave them a lot of good points so that they could get started. And the most important part of it was, you said start with the plan, write it down, make a
Mm-hmm.
plan. A lot of people hold all this stuff in their head and don't have a reference point, don't know where to research. Another thing is, yes, you have the coach, but also a mentor is good. And the reason for the mentor is where a coach is supposed to, okay, uh let you ask you those questions to move you into the level of going to where you're supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. However, with a mentor, some of us just need guidance. So
Mm-hmm.
the mentor can actually guide you and tell you examples and things of that nature. That
Mm-hmm.
is not technically what coaching is supposed to do. Um, some people do that in coaching, but it's not necessarily what it's supposed to do. And that's okay.
Yep.
For them, if that works for them, but that's not what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like mentors because I am a question girl.
Yes.
I am a research girl.
Mm-hmm.
I am one that wants the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa knows this about me, that this hasn't changed in the past 5 years. We've known each other. I am that person.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I want to learn how to do this. I will go out there and I will first Google said situation, then I'll go buy said situation, work said situation, and make it happen. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been this person. Now, but what happens if you don't have that drive and that gumption? You probably need somebody who can lay out the blueprint for you,
Mm-hmm.
who can actually get in the trenches with you.
Mm-hmm.
That also works for somebody who is a right now type of person. I am also a right now type of person. If I have it in my head, I want it to happen and manifest. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really down with waiting on things that I want. And that is just not, it's not, it's just not. Okay. She working on it. She working. But that's not my natural inclination. So I'm going to ask to find out. If you don't tell me, okay, I'll go figure it out. And now I get it. I get it. A lot of times we tend to hold our knowledge in our hand like this instead of like that because we think that somebody's trying to take our stuff away from us.
Ooh, child.
Okay. And has it been proven? Yes. They'll flat out steal it right in front of your face.
So
Let's
well.
be completely real. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is this is how you become a asset and not a liability. When you have learned it and mastered it, it's best to just give it to them so that your hand is open for bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, or sell it. The point is put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I mean by give it. Go ahead, put it out there. Why? You've mastered that technique. That
Yep.
technique is no longer serving you, or it needs to be up leveled. So
Mm-hmm.
sell what you have so that your hand, or give however it flows, and so that your hands are open. That space has been moved of stagnant items.
Mm-hmm.
You can embrace new and up leveling items.
Exactly.
We tend to hold on to stagnant items just because we want to say we have something. Let's say we got a car. Ooh, we want to say we got a car. The car's 20 years old, is riding on rubber, is riding on rims, all these kind of things like that. But we want to say we have a car. Instead of letting that child or something take that little car because they can go and wreck it and do whatever with it. And then, I'm not speaking on that, but y'all get where I'm going. You get where I'm going.
Right.
And so, they can go ahead and do something with that. So you can now up level into your next level. All things that aren't renewed die.
Say that again.
All things that not renewed, they die.
Mm-hmm.
They do. If we stay stagnant, that dream will die.
Yep.
If we keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result, it will die.
Yep. Yep.
And we wonder why, it used to work 20 years ago. Why ain't it working now? Because you got a new audience.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Some of the stuff you were doing 3 years ago don't work now. Why? You
Mm-hmm.
got a new audience. Yep. People done up level. There's new technologies. And you're wondering why.
Well, they didn't up level. They didn't up level, girl.
Apparently.
Leeches. I'm sorry. Leeches. I'm sorry.
But yeah, you slid that in there. You trying
well, they gotta stick it and they gotta watch you to see what you got going on because they know you're gonna come out with something. You're gonna have them. Mm-hmm.
But you know what? That's why I went stealth. Let's talk about going stealth. Let's do that. Sometimes you just gotta go stealth. Sometimes when you know that the original is no longer working, it is time to do the remix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? My remix was stealth. I was in a situation where I was evolving, yet the circle was not.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was evolving, but it was evolving in the opposite direction from which I knew that my system needed to be in. So guess what? I went stealth.
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19 was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I didn't have to do nothing. I didn't have to go nowhere. I didn't have to nothing. Okay? And I didn't have to do nothing because it was a mandated law. Come through. So I had no reason to do nothing. Okay? All right. Now, there was that time when I needed to, and I'm glad I did because then when I finally sat down and my body sat, and then the floodgates opened, everything that broke could.
Mm-hmm.
But Had I been traveling and everything broke down, that would have been a hot mess.
Yeah.
This is the deal. Sometimes you gotta go still.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just gotta go off the radar. Clean the palate. When I came back, my ride or dies was still there. The ones that fell off, they found where I was and they came back. I put it out in a different way. I added some things about that were part of me my whole life, but I took it in another direction.
Mm-hmm.
And this chick here is at peace. I ain't stressed. All the people that stressed me out in 2019, I didn't say not one word to them in 2020
Amen.
or 2021.
Amen.
When you go stealth,
Mm-hmm.
amazing how when you ain't serving, you ain't pouring, you ain't giving me all the information and giving me all my life for free, and you fall off, and you see who was really there for you, and they be sitting there waiting on you when you get back.
Yes, they will. Yes, they
And
will.
then, guess what? Then they opened up the door to this lovely thing called Clubhouse. Shut the front door. I reached people that I had never reached before because it was in a whole nother circle, a whole nother space and place. And they put you in areas that you never thought about. And all you have to do is jump in a room and meet a whole nother set of people that you
Yeah.
ain't never know that you didn't know yesterday. You jump in another room and you jump in another room and you start networking and you start adding people in and then they stuff start flowing. And that is like network on a stick, I say.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is you really find your tribe and find out who resonates with you because guess what? They don't know you from Adam.
Mm-hmm.
If you say you give your pitch, you send them to the place, they can go research it appropriately. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
I've met some amazing people. I have embraced my fullest identity because of these people. And you know, the light bulb has been on.
Mm-hmm.
So my point of all of this to say is that maybe in your original life plan, this life that you riding on, this track that you're on, if you're unhappy, get off.
Mm-hmm.
Get off and take that detour.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Your greatness might be on the other side of the detour.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to keep riding on the same plane that you own. That's becoming a liability too.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not in the right place, in the right space, doing the right things that you're built to do, purpose to
Exactly.
do, just because you want to make somebody else thank you of this, that, and the other thing. Guess what? Being you should make them thank you this, that, and the other thing. If you have to be fake to get recognition, you on the wrong track. If you got to be fake to receive some love and affection, or what you consider love and affection, you're on the wrong track. You are enough.
Mm.
If you don't feel like you are in this space and place,
Mm-hmm.
that means that there's another path for you where
Yep.
you'll find out that you are. And that's what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Vanessa had to get on her detour once or twice in life.
Ooh. Three, four, five. Ooh,
But
she.
see, this is the thing. Mm,
Oh, something
I
people don't
know.
talk about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. That's part of
Everything
being
was
the
perfect.
liability too. That's part of being the liability too.
Mhm.
If you are feeding into the madness,
Come
if
on.
you are accepting the madness, then you are making yourself the liability.
Yep.
If somebody has come down the track, this is a story, it's from the lovely Shoe Addicts Christmas. One day, This person had been told many times, given many opportunities to get out of her own way, and she politely declined it. But one day, an angel had to come down and tell her, look, this is the last slay. This
Mm.
is the last chance. You need to seize this because we ain't coming back no more. We're going to let you go head on in your mess. If there are signs and wonders telling you, whether it's your head, your mind, your illnesses, because body will give you things too. Body don't ache when it's in peace. Heart palpitations are not happening when it's in peace. Unless it's a chronic issue. You don't just start having no anxiety and heart palpitations. There
Child.
is a problem. Why? Because I'm once again preaching to the choir. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Pay attention to these signs and wonders. Grab that sleigh, get on it, and ride on to the detour.
Mm.
All right, Vanessa, close us out, girl.
Mm-mm. One thing that I said that you really done just done struck something. I had did a post some days ago, and I said I have not had chest pains in 10 years
Mm-hmm,
after my layoff.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That's crazy
mm-hmm,
because of the stress of what I was dealing with.
mm-hmm.
I'm a liability. So if they can do anything they possibly can to hurry get you up out of here, no matter what, torture her, okay, that's not enough. Okay, let's go ahead and just lay her off. Call it the day. But that was the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm. It will.
You know what I mean? Because it pushed me to be able to see my worth. That I'm more of an asset. You know, you get paid for what they believe they should pay you. And it still ain't worth enough because you still pinch Peter pay Paul.
Mm,
You know, but once you start to see what you really bring to the table,
that's right now.
my goodness, big difference. Big difference. And that's something somebody can't take away from you. So when people want to see what you do and want to be leeches and watch what you do and everything else, when God has given you that vision, we can't take nothing that God has given you. But you got to put yourself out there. You got to take that leap. You got to be that risk taker. You got to know that you are worth the risk so you can make the transition from becoming a liability so you can be an asset. So you can be able to show the next how they too can become an asset.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be willing to get out there and you got to be willing to do it. You got to be willing to ask questions. You got to be willing to invest. I mean, it's a lot of work. There's no denying that. However, imagine looking back and then you turn around and hear the things that you have accomplished. I mean, dang, did I do that?
Come on now.
I didn't even accomplish that much when I worked on a job and I've been there for 20 years. I mean, what? Just imagine that of people, they really see you. Your
Mm-hmm.
job didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The people see you. They see what you're doing. They see the work that you're putting in. They see the lives that you are changing by the work that you do. That right there, priceless. But again, don't fall into the category of just waiting for a stimulus check to fulfill you for something that's going to be temporary. That's all. That's it. That's all. We got to do better. We have to do better. This is the time. 2019 done showed us some stuff. 2020 done kicked our butt. Now 2021, come on now. Come on. This is a time where there's more elevations that's taking place. More millionaires are coming out of this pandemic. Why you don't think you could be one? What makes you think you can't change this? And you can. More small businesses are being recognized now and appreciated more than anything. Go get you some. All right, now, this has been absolutely amazing, Dr. Finch. We have to come back and we'll do it again next month. But we want to hear from you guys. Leave your comments below. Make sure you're following us all over social media. Change your minds online. We are changing the world one person at a time. But at the end of the day, we need to hear from you. We need to know what else would you like to hear from us so we can be able to bring it. You'll be surprised. We watch, we listen, we pay attention. But you have to be willing to say, let us know so we can know how we can be able to serve you. So with that being said, Dr. Finch, I know I left something out, so go ahead.
Oh, actually, you did well. You did well. Thank you, everyone, for listening. For the viewers and for the replay viewers, we thank you so much. And, like she said, just put the comments in there. We want to hear what you have to say because we do still answer questions after the replay begins. So, with that being said, thank you so much. Make sure that you're following us with the little ticker down here. And make sure you are on changingmindsonline.com watching our episodes. And starting in April, Changing Minds Online Season 4 is, no, Motivate Social Season 4. Motivate Social Podcast Season 4 will be in full effect. So if you have a topic you think you're changing the world via social media, message that one. That one right there. All of that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Just that one.
Yeah. Holy. Yes, yes.
Ah, Jesus, that was fun. Alrighty then. Babe, do you have any closing words?
Go be great. Go be great. And do your inventory.
Come on now. And then watch this replay.
There you go. And share it with your friends. Tag someone. Somebody need to hear this message.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just for us.
No, it was for somebody.
It was for somebody.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because we never know when we come on here. We come on here with a message, but you just don't know. It's so much. We get a lot of people who reach out to us. And if we could be able to help just one person, and that one person could be able to go help the next person, then we could continue to make a difference. But we got to do our part. Everybody got a part. Let's all do our part.
All right. Thank you.
All right now.
Until next time.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.